Hi guys, this is Patsy Givenji. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and for returning subscribers, welcome back. For those who are new to this channel, I know you're going to love this space. I know you are definitely going to consider subscribing to this channel, and today we have a story time. We have a story time. You know, every time I speak about cisgendered men, people will be like, who hurt you? What did they do to you? Da, 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 da. And I feel like this is one of the story times that actually brought me to the conclusion that I was not going to be settling down with a cis man, at least not long term. And so this was around 2021. It was actually 2021. It was actually 2021. Was it 21 or 22? One of those. So there was this guy I was talking to, and the whole time, I don't know why I felt the need to be delusional enough to think that this guy was actually into me. I bet maybe he was into the idea of being with a person like me, which is of course like very fetishistic. But I don't think he was all through into me. And this is why. So the very first time was, I think we talked even before COVID. I think in 2019. So we had been talking like till this time. So let me pick it back to then, around 2019, 2020. And so we intended to meet. That time alikuwa naishi Nyeri and I was in Kirinyaga, so it was like very convenient to go there. So the first red flag I can say is when we were meeting, this guy tells me nakutumia fare ya kufika, then after you get here, I'm going to sort of, I'm going to give you the rest ya kurudi. And looking at it then, I didn't think it was an issue. But right now I'm just like, you are actually going to meet a stranger, because that is what he is at that particular point. And this person does not trust you with like several hundreds, because it's not even 1,000, I promise. From Kirinyaga to Nyeri, like to and fro, I used to figure 1,000 ball. And so yes, it was somewhere an amount below 1,000, and this person cannot trust you with it. And that was supposed to be the first flag, whatever color it was supposed to be. So, and I was just like, fine, since I didn't have an issue, I actually did go. And I went, and the whole time, like, it's the first meetup. He's trying to sort of be touchy, so I am resisting, and suddenly he's becoming cold. And this is how abusers behave. Like, when you say no, they start becoming cold, for you to sort of start questioning yourself, for you to actually gaslight yourself. That did not happen. Yes, that did not happen. I stood on business and I was just like, yes, actually, I think I'm going to leave now. And sure enough, he actually akanirudisha like kwa the bus stop, and I went. And so I think by now, I feel like somehow he had already figured out what kind of person I was. And so I knew, but I think he knew by all means, this is not a person he would want to be with long term, atanisumbua. Yeah? But I didn't figure that out. So we go on talking. So we would always like organize meetups. They would not happen. I remember at one occasion, like we had planned to meet up, and in the morning, he tells me I've traveled for a funeral. And I remember asking him, is the person you're going to bury of the Muslim faith? Because the only way like to explain this is that this person died yesterday and you're going to bury them today. But anyway, that did not happen. Did that stop me from talking to him? No. So, flash forward. Now this is now when what I started with, like now 2021, we planned that we are going to meet again. This time alikuwa amemove from Nyeri to Karatina, and so that is even closer. And I was just like, fine. So before we met, karibu a cancel tena. And so me, as the person that was determined to actually meet, I volunteered and I said, nitalipa fare. Nitajilipia fare. What do I do this time around? Fuliza. So nilifuliza fare. Nikaenda. So when I got there, the first thing was I don't know if this is how people say, but for whatever reason, coincidence or whatever, he didn't have any shopping in the house. He didn't have any shopping in the house. And I was just like, So he says that he's going to shop. And we wrote the list. Oh, get these, anaongeza, get these, anaongeza. Which perfume do you use? Nasema, anaongeza, anaongeza, anaongeza. The list was really long because clearly for a house that haikuwa na anything, that list had to be super long. Then he left. It was around 2. Then this person came later on, like at 6:30, 7-ish, without the shopping, a little bit drunk. Akona kale kama mafuta kadogo, I think 250 ml or something. Akona viazi, like maybe 1 gorogoro or something. Kanyama, maybe I'm assuming with ilikuwa ya 300 then. And I was silent. Of course, I'm confused at first. I'm just like, what is happening? You went for shopping, so what is happening? And so we start cooking. I start cooking. So I start cooking, and ako hapo ameketi. Suddenly 2 of his friends arrive, and they also join us for like dinner and tukakula. And then he tells me, he wants to escort them out. And I was just like, fine. So he leaves again. Next time he returns, it is 4 a.m. in the morning. So the whole time I was waiting. I don't know where I'm supposed to sleep. So when he came back, I remember nilimuuliza, kwani umetoka? And this is where I say, I feel like this is where I said, the next person I am not dating is anyone from Meru. This person literally tells me, wanaume wa Meru hawaulizangu mahali wametoka. And I was just like, bam. Okay. So I remember the following day was, I think it was Labor Day. It was a day like today when I'm recording this. I think it was Labor Day and it was on a Saturday. So I woke up and mi nikakaa tu kwa kiti, so nikaanza watch the live proceedings za the celebrations. And as I'm watching, this person hits me with hunipiki breakfast. I remember I just looked at him and looked away. Then I figured out I might as well also have something. So I woke up, nika make pancakes, I made tea, nikajiserve, nikaketi, nikamaliza. Then he's just like, kwani huniserve? Nikamwambia food iko pale, I have made a lot of food. Yeah? And in my head, I'm just telling myself, you're an asshole for actually thinking I'm going to serve you. So kumbe, by this time, anachukua receipts za everything that is happening. So later on, he says that he's going to leave. Remember the morning hour, so by 11, like he leaves. And then at around 12:31, a person my age, because this person was actually way older, I think like 2020, 2019, I was like around 20, 21. This person was like 30 something. And so like at that time, another person comes in. He is around, around age yangu, really, around age yangu, if older maybe by 2 years. And then he tells me, oh, I'm so, the person I'm dating is your person's friend, and nimi wanafanyia food meal prep saa zingine, so he's told me to come over, uko hapa, keep you company, they will join us later. I was just like, cool, hey, kwani kuna sherehe? Fine. So immediately we start like cleaning, nini, and then we start cooking. By now it's evening, and then by 7, the 2 of them come in. The guy and let's call him Mag. Let's call him Mag. Yes, let's call him Mag. So Mag kukuja na beshte yake, introductions, and then like we went on cooking. By now there is drinks, and so we also start drinking. And within 30 minutes tumemaliza na tumeketi, tumesettle in, tumekula, tumeanza sasa ku vibe. Tuki having the drinks and just Just banter, talking, and good vibes. Honestly, the night was progressing on well. At around 10:30, something happens. Mag says a very interesting thing. So his friend and the partner are saying, we can go out sometime and like hang out, nini nini. Then Mag hits them with, sasa mtu kama Patsy, mnena na yeye wapi mtu feminine hivi? Mnena na yeye wapi? Mimi najua sipendi watu kama hawa. And then this person asked him, you're actually with her. So how about like umwache too, because I'm sure this is somebody's type. Alafu uende type yako. This person kept quiet. But immediately I'm just like clocking something. I'm just like, what is happening? Am I with the person who hates me? Of course, yes. At midnight, a knock at the door. Someone comes in. And I'm just like, oh, the more, the merrier. Kwanza huyu aliingia na vibe. Ni kama alikuwa ashalewa. Ni kama alikuwa ashalewa. Huyu aliingia na vibe. Anatwak. Clapping. Later on, ndio mjua alikuwa amelewa. Akazima. Yes, or rather akasikia kuzima. Then he indicated his interest in kuzima. Mag akamchukua as the host, as the honorable host akamchukua. Akampeleka wapi? Bedroom. Mahali nilikuwa nalala. No issue, we are drunk, aren't we? Everyone is under the influence. So from then henceforth, I realized that Mag alikuwa anakuja, anarudi kwa bedroom. Anakuja, anarudi kwa bedroom. Anakuja, anarudi kwa bedroom. Do I figure out anything? Na mumu aide. Yeah? You want to pass? Just a minute. Yeah. Baby was a bit fussy, so yeah. So, did I figure out anything? I didn't figure out anything. I didn't even suspect anything was happening. So we just went on drinking. And funny bit is we went on drinking until like 4:30-ish. So kufika 4:30, the person who joined me earlier before the partner, my age mate, akasema yeye anataka kutoka because akona an early morning on Sunday. I think alikuwa anaenda church or somewhere. And it made a lot of sense. Then the partner started becoming dramatic. Akasema, oh, unaona, anataka kuniacha. Hata sijui hawa wanakuanga aje. Mag akapata opportunity. Akasema, hey, let's talk about it. Juu hata huku nilisema hadi nisaviwe breakfast asubuhi. Nikapewa sijui macho sijui nakaa aje. Sijui nini. Now Mark got the opportunity, like akaroroa, akarant. So I'm just asking him all this time, did you come yesterday? And I also asked you where you've come from. When literally this was the first day I was in your house, and instead of you sticking behind, you went out to drink. When I asked you umetoka wapi, ukaniambia watu wa Meru hawaulizangu wametoka wapi. So he keeps quiet. Suddenly waka agree that they are going to sleep over. Yeah? Then wakaonyeshwa. Then now, Then Mag started, I don't know, I got distracted. Mag started sharing the nini, started sharing the sleeping spaces. Tell me why Ali share everywhere. Because of course, right now there is a person who is in the bed. Then I may share the guest bedroom. The only place that was left yenye occupy is the seat I was sitting, is the seat I was nilikuwa nimekalia, and it was a one-seater. Yes. Then I was just like, what is happening? So by now, because already alishaanza by kunishautia, now hell has broken loose. And now there is a bit of commotion. It's a bit at this point. It's actually a bit at this point. Then when the friends realize what is happening, he says they are going to leave. And the reason why they said they are going to leave was when actually I brought up the question about what he said earlier. You know, siwezi kana mtu kama huyu. Then I asked him what that was about. By now, the person who was sleeping ameamka. And then anauliza, aya, what is happening? Like, Patsy, what is happening? What's all this commotion? And then I explained, then he asked me, Aya, you two are a thing. And I'm just like, yes. And by the way, let me just ask, how are you here? And then he tells me, Mimi, tumetoana kwa app. Tumetoana kwa grindr. Those who know what grindr is. And I was just like, okay. So suddenly, I feel like out of this situation, we have started relating to each other, not the person who was sleeping. Reason being, both of us are literally victims of circumstances. This person is taking us for the idiot. And so immediately he realizes that this person locks us in the house. He confiscates our phones and tells me, Patsy, mtu amekasirika huwa anaruka kwa balcony. I was just like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? So we are there seated. We are wondering what is happening. And we are even questioning each other. Tunaulizana, huyo mtu kama akupendi hivi, why are you here? And then for me, you know what? It would make sense kama actually anipendi, because nilijileta. I'm the one who brought myself. Yeah. Hata ile siku ya kwanza alituma fare and everything, akasema nitatuma the rest ukifika. This time around. And so in the morning, we woke up. We didn't even sleep. So let's just say morning ikafika. He hands us back our phones. And tell me why the audacity of this nigger. Before his friends left, let me mention this. This person says, ai, huyu ni pombe. Ni pombe, mkikuja huku last week mtampata huku tu. Huyu ni pombe. And sure enough, true to his word, when he woke up in the morning, this person actually thought we are dressing up to go sijui where. Ndio nikajua this person, huyu mtu ananiona matako yake. Huyu mtu ananiona nyashi yake. And let me tell you, I feel like because he knew sikuwa na fare ya kurudi, he thought I'm going to stay there. He was very surprised when we packed, and together with his hookup, that was never was, juu hakupewa anything. Tukatoka tukaenda. Yeah. Tukatoka tukaenda. And from then henceforth, me and the other guy actually became sort of acquaintances. I don't say friends, but we became acquaintances, and we got like to even meet later. And that was so crazy. That was so crazy. But you know what was even crazier? It was the fact that since then, I have not been able to talk to anyone that says they are from Meru. No matter how good they said they are, I was just like, no. No. Erista niende mzungu. No. Kwanza that statement, ati wanaume wa Meru hawaulizangu mahali wametoka. I was just like, hey. Nisisikia ukicheka. Nataka usubscribe. Subscribe for more. Subscribe for more. Subscribe for more. Subscribe for more. I know you guys have heard the baby in the background. She is an unpaid participant. An unpaid podcaster on this channel. So yes, that was like the end. We didn't even talk again. After that was the last time tuliongea, by the way. During that confrontation, that was the last time we ever talked. And tell me why years later, I actually see this person texting me. And then later on, when like I got a bit of a followership on TikTok, this person, nikaona bado amenifuata tena. And I was just like, wewe shetani. Shetani nitakupiga na mawe nitakupiga. Of course he was blocked. What do you mean? The fuck? First things first is you're transphobic. But I think just the idea of being with me is what you're in love with. And you want me to sort of cover up every other aspect of me. You definitely think you are God's mother. And that's how Patsy sees it.